So, I guess there's no point in even trying to hide it. Owning a hammerhead as a pirate. Good idea, bad idea. I guess we're going to find out. So, what motivated or what started me down this path? Originally, when I kind of got into Star Citizen, I looked at ships like the Cutlass. Later the Buccaneer, later the Caterpillar, but mostly the Cutlass. And I wanted to be on kind of like the contrarian side of things. And not so much just flying around and being a bastard, but I wanted, I didn't want to play that kind of the law abiding side of things. So, not so much. And I wanted like a ship that kind of suited that role, and certainly the Cutlass at the time was the it ship. If you were a pirate, that was the ship that you looked at. Later on, the Caterpillar came into play. Certainly stepped out on the forefront in the beginning. Right in the beginning, once again, it was the transport that doesn't skimp on weaponry, and then it was the heavily armored combat transport. And now it's just kind of the transport. And when I looked at ships like that, I knew I wanted something bigger. I wanted something with some teeth. I wanted something that had some reach. And what I mean by reach is something that broadened my capabilities when I needed them. Something that kind of made that all or made more of the game available to me, because certainly, there are pirate missions, and having something like this is going to speed up that process, make it a lot more fun, especially when we start to get out into other solar systems and places that aren't as secure as Stanton is supposed to be, because I know that for a lot of people, Stanton doesn't feel all that secure right now. It's kind of the Wild West, but once a lot of these systems are implemented, around crime and punishment and all that, I'm sure it'll start to feel a lot more comfortable. I wanted a ship that had a little bit of reach, and one of the things that kind of when I saw the ship, and I just went like, ooh, I have to be careful now because this ship is playing with my emotions. Is it? I found that it was very similar, though not in a rip-off-ish kind of way, but very similar to a ship from the game Homeworld, specifically Homeworld 2. Now, there's no ship in particular that I can point to and say, like, oh, it's like the Higaran Flak Frigate or something like that, one of those flattened-out ships, or maybe even a little bit of the Higaran Battlecruiser, obviously, though, scaled way down. But, it really doesn't directly resemble any of the ships, but it seems to have kind of a similar flavor, a similar style, if you know what I mean. And that was something that I really keyed into. And so I realized right then and there, I was like, I got to be really careful because this thing is kind of playing with my emotions a little bit now. It's making me a little bit excited. And I looked at it and I said, you're going to have to be a pretty harsh critic of yourself in this situation and of your ideas, because you can easily, just kind of go like, oh, get swept up in the moment and end up melting something that you want to keep, or some things in this case that you want to keep, in favor of this. And so I looked around, I looked at the missions, and of course a lot of you saw the video where I was talking about, they're bringing out missions that are geared around having something like this. And, so obviously this ship is going to be some kind of a moneymaker. They're going to, have you at least able to earn or progress in some fashion with a ship like this. And there's going to be content designed around ships like that. And the whole time I'm doing that video, I'm going like, yes. But I had to be realistic with myself. And I know certainly having a YouTube channel, that's going to be it's going to be a complicating factor, to say the least. So this is going to be probably more of a specific purpose ship, something like that. But it was still a capability that I wanted to have, and it was still a type of gameplay that I really wanted to explore, especially going through the alpha and into the beta. It's something that I definitely wanted to see. I kind of thought to myself, if this doesn't work out, if it ends up being too much of a problem or too much of a hassle, melt it and you can go and get other stuff. And obviously, it's going to give you a pretty broad access to a bunch of different options. So, I mean, there's that in favor of it. But it's a gameplay that I would say I am more interested in, is kind of operating a ship that not quite to the capital ship level. I don't think I want to go down that path. But I still wanted something that had some combat reach, something that had some broad applicability, within the universe, in the types of mission profiles that I can take on. Certainly, I don't think that this thing is going to be hauling Widow and making money that way, though. I mean, I guess that could be a possibility, but I wanted to look more at the actual combat missions themselves and something that could go in and just tear it up. Now, broadly speaking, for most players, especially like law-abiding players, I think that, a ship like this is probably going to be a much more attractive option for them, because they're probably going to be a little bit more free to use this around. They won't have to worry about as many things as I potentially will have to worry about. And let's be honest, there's probably going to be a lot of things to worry about in my case. But I guess maybe that'll add some of the fun, some of the excitement to actually using it. And that could be interesting and rewarding gameplay in and of itself. So there's that. I think that, part of it was the idea of I didn't want to miss out on this type of gameplay, or gameplay at this level. I wanted something a little bit meatier, and certainly, the Connie and the Caterpillar just weren't doing it for me at all. And so I think that this kind of opened or kicked open that door for me and made it a little bit more interesting. And we'll see where it goes. I think it would be fun to kind of have a ship like this, and then to see it maybe a couple of years down the road, if it lasts that long. With some scars and some replaced panels, and a ship that's obviously seen some action and has been repaired as best as can be expected in certain environments. I think it'd be cool to have a ship like that. I wanted to have something sizable, but not something too big, not something too responsible. And I feel that this is kind of that sweet spot, but of course that is going to bear testing in the universe as we progress into the later stages of the game's development, which I'm very excited to see. And it's going to be interesting, very, very interesting. And over the next little while, probably going to be some interesting videos dealing with the journey that the ship is going to go on as I kind of put it through its paces and see how this idea pans out. I mean, if it doesn't, there's always the plan B, which is another interesting idea that I have, and the groundwork is there for that. All it means is that we just kind of take money from column A and put it into column B, and then plan B is alive and well. But yeah, I think the next little while is going to be a very interesting journey for this ship, and kind of taking it out and seeing what it can do, what it can't do, what's fun about it, what isn't so much fun, and really trying to get the best idea possible of what the day in and day out of a pirate flying something like this would be like. It might be terrible, and it might be a hell of a lot of fun. And I'm really excited to find out either way. Anyways, that's the video for today. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and thanks for watching.
Thank you for watching. So if you want to keep up with the latest and greatest in Star Citizen and Squadron 42's development, please follow us on our social media channels. See you soon.